Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, it's really fun saying that because I feel like I'm cosplaying as like my childhood dream to always like have a YouTube channel. And I know I only get like 3 viewers by like the closest people to me. Um, but it is like still really fun. It's kind of like when you post on your private story and you have like the closest people to you watch it, and it's like a really, I want to say private interaction because like my obviously my channel is public, but I do feel like I have a very like small cute like space. And that's why also I like sitting here now. Like I was sitting in front of like the ring light and doing like all of this editing, but I feel like just talking to my webcam, which is so cool that I actually have a MacBook. Like guys, like there are like just some things like growing up I just never thought that I would have. So the fact that I have a MacBook and I also have a phone, like an iPhone, it's an iPhone 14, so it's like not the newest one, but it's just like one of those things where like when I was little, everyone around me had them and I'd never had them. So to have them now is it really is a blessing. So I have taken a little bit of a break, and lately I've been really into the chill vibes. So not too in your face, and as you can kind of see by the representation of how I'm filming this, it's just like very chill vibes lately. And YouTube has been very overwhelming. I've been following just like smaller channels because I just feel like these bigger channels just kind of make you compare a lot, and it's just like information overload. So I like following smaller channels because I feel like I'm talking to my best friends, or I feel like I'm listening to my best friends. Um, so yeah, so I've been MIA because the first 3.5 weeks of the year, I actually been really sick in bed. Um, it was the worst time of my life. Honestly, I had to take 2 endones because I couldn't handle the pain. I was like, I had a virus or something was going around, but it still hasn't like fully gone away yet. Um, and yeah, I'm good and I'm alive now. I took antibiotics. So my year kind of started very slow, but I did write up some resolutions. But yeah, so I took a little bit of a break, but I do have something planned next week for a video. Me and my best friend are actually going to go on a little mini getaway. And I thought it would be fun to kind of have a little podcast episode with her because our chemistry is really good and really good. Our chemistry is really fun. It's really chill vibes. I need a tissue. It's really chill vibes. It's really it's kind of like you're hanging out with us. We're just going to talk about random things. So I thought I'll get some topics and we'll just have fun with it. We have a pool in our Airbnb, which will also be really cool. Like we can just, me and her are just gonna literally just lay by the pool until we have to check out. And yeah, I want to talk about emotional upheavals, which is something that I feel like I have always struggled with and I'm currently struggling with right now. And basically, they're really, really bad for you. And I don't know if any of you guys are spiritual, but I am. And one of the things that are really bad for you in terms of like blocking your blessings and your spirituality is these emotional upheavals. And for me personally, it gets triggered during my. It gets triggered with my anxious attachment style. I have really bad trauma when it comes to like relationships in general. I don't really have the best connections with the people around me because I am anxiously attached, but at the same time, I'm really avoidant. So I don't really get close to them. So I am as close as I can be with the people around me. But I do have my walls up at the same time. It's kind of like I'm uh, people pleasing my way through to have relationships because I love people and I want people around me. Um, at the same time, I feel obviously everyone feels rejection. Um, at the same time, I don't allow myself to be vulnerable as much and have them see me and accept me because I haven't been accepted like before, I guess. I have had a history where I have been in situations where I have been shown that I'm not accepted. So it is really hard to navigate that in my adult life. So basically, I have a really bad anxious attachment wound, and when that gets triggered, or if I have conflict with anyone, um, it really takes a toll on me. Like to the point where like today was just one of those days where it happened, and I was like, this needs to change because I'm exhausted. Like I'm really, really tired of the way that I react emotionally. Um, I was just alone in my room and I was crying so, so much out loud, audibly. No one was home, which was good because I was like screaming, crying. And if anyone was home or if the neighbors heard, they'll probably be like, wow, like this girl needs to get locked up. Like something is going on. There's either a conflict happening or she's about to like harm herself. Like that's how much of an emotional upheaval like I experience, and I've experienced them a lot lately. I would go out for drives on my own or like try to be in a private space where I can just like scream, and it's good to scream, it's good to cry. I'm not like saying that but to spiral yourself into this space where you are genuinely really hurt, because the more you cry the more upset you're going to be. And I think like one of the things that I want to learn from this experience, and today was just like a bit of a shift, it was life changing because like when you get into this space, like look, my eyes are so red, like I've been crying all day, like I need to like fix myself like in the next couple of days to finally get to a place that's like healthy. Like it's almost like I'm stepping on my head and I continue to do so. And it gets to the point where I'm almost like manic. Like I could honestly do something to hurt myself. Like, and I feel like I'm not alone in this only because I do know. So if no one relates to this, it's honestly so good for you because like I don't want this to be like this relatable thing. But I am not in charge of my emotions. My ego is, and I do have people around me that I can really relate to. We don't hurt each other in any way. Like my best friend, for example, I know that this experience is not just solely something that I go through. I thought that something was wrong with me actually. I spoke to a psychiatrist just to kind of like get a little, like I already knew it was just like my way of thinking. I have gone very pessimistic and I have gone very like seeing the glass half full, which is really bad, and I do want to change that. And it's just I'm getting so overwhelmed. It's like, why do I allow myself to get to that place where I'm like crying so much to the point where I'm going to sleep in tomorrow? I'm gonna have a hard time believing in myself, getting my tasks done. I have a headache. my chronic illness is probably going to flare up. So it's, yeah, it's it's definitely not pretty. And today was a bit of a turning point for me because I kind of realized like what I was doing to myself and how long I have been doing this to myself. I've been like doing this to myself for like the past couple years intensely, but I always reacted so emotionally every time something happened ever since I was 14. Yeah, 14. I remember that's when it started to happen, and I don't want to basically be emotionally immature. I don't want that. Like when I'm calm and when I'm like I can think objectively, like I can see that that's bad, but like when I get in these moments where I'm like triggered and basically like the my hurt like takes over like my critical thinking and my emotions just take over. And I know like when people say that, like, oh, like I see red, like I do roll my eyes at them, but like I kind of know what that means because I know I'm like not thinking rationally, but at the same time it's the only like way of me coping is like, and I'm glad that I'm not like around people when I do that because it genuinely is concerning. Like my family members have actually been subjected to this and they get really worried, and I don't want them to worry anymore, and I don't want to worry myself anymore. I want to take care of myself, and especially like kids, like if I have children, I don't want them to be like, oh, like mum freaking reacts psycho. Like I want to be like how I am when I am, when I'm calm. Like this is truly me. This is me how I'm speaking when I'm not hurt. But I'm going to be hurt all the time. Like it is life, you know what I mean? Like I can't just react. I'm not saying like I react in that way every single time something goes wrong. It's not like that. It happens like a handful of times, way too much, but it happens more often than it should. I would say like once a month. But still like there's like 2 weeks of that you repairing yourself, and 1 week of that it's like my period, and then the other week I'm dealing with like uni stress. Like what time do I have to actually be happy? um so yeah, I don't want to be that version of me that can't control herself. And one of the things that I'm starting to implement is being alone. Like not being alone, being with the thoughts that are telling me that something is wrong. So first of all, I know that I'm okay. So one of the things that I want to tell myself is like, I'm okay, everything's okay, and challenge these thoughts and not be so black and white on a situation, because I think that's where I spiral. It's when I tell myself like it's zero, like this is the worst case scenario that I can ever be in and everything is wrong, like catastrophizing. I completely catastrophize and there's no in between. There's no shades of gray. There's no, it's like I'm completely looking at this problem and it's a big problem and it's the only thing I see. Um, and that's hard. And that's hard for anyone. It's hard for my family and my friends and the people that are so dear to me to see. Um, it's hard for myself, and it's not something that I want to put myself through again. I finally kind of had like a bit of a epiphany today when that happened, and I thought like if I take care of myself and I eat well and I do all of this self-development, like why am I treating myself this way? I wouldn't want to see someone who I care about behave that way. So I don't want to do that to myself. And yeah, it just blocks your thinking, your mood, your energy levels, spirituality. It's just horrible. And yeah, I don't want to do that to myself. And if you struggle with that, if you struggle with your emotions, then we're definitely in this journey together. I'm kind of like reflecting on some like coping mechanisms that I can do. And one of them was definitely not to catastrophize, but also to take myself out of my body and reason with myself. So I guess like you can say talking to your inner child. So like if this were to happen, I think about my goal and what I want and who I want to be. And then I console myself. So I'll tell myself like, hey, like, you're alive, you're safe, everything's okay. What is the problem? Tell me. And then I'll tell myself the problem. Okay, every problem can be fixed. And if it can't, would you get through it? Yes, you would. Like, is there a point where you have to cry so much to the point where like you can't breathe? Like, that is just so awful. Like, really awful. Don't do that to yourself. You know what? We're like on a little sobriety thing. Also, I vaped today. I have not vaped since, New Year's. I thought that was like a one-off thing, but before that was actually July. So I vaped today because I was like that, and see what these emotional upheavals can do. Like I'm on this journey to quit vaping, and I have, like I haven't vaped in about 6 months. I had nicotine in January. I had nicotine in New Year's, but what I'm trying to say is like I need to take care of myself. You need to take care of yourself because it kind of strays you away from your like goals. Like I completely sabotaged myself in a way that like I harmed myself by like vaping and like doing all those things when you're not thinking rationally. And so yeah, that's kind of like my what's been on my mind lately. And also, well, what else has been on my mind lately? I'm reading Atomic Habits, guys. Okay, so for Christmas, I got the best gift that anyone can ever get. I got a Kindle. So I'm reading Atomic Habits right now. And it's good, but I just wish it can get to the point. I am almost done with Twilight New Moon. I'm 27% done with the Master Key System, which is really good. I started reading Wuthering Heights, but I think I need to read that book solo, like without any books on the side, because I like forget a page as soon as I go into the next one because it's really old English. And yeah, so it's really cool. But Atomic Habits is good. I don't know why I judge it so much. I think like I just like heard from a podcast like that the author's annoying. But I wouldn't say he's annoying. I just like hope he would get to the point. Like I'm already on page 7 and it still hasn't gone to the good stuff. Like then it gets to the good stuff. So it is pretty like, can you just hurry up and get to the point and like tell me how I can do it? Yeah, maybe we should start a book club. But that's what's been on my mind lately. Don't sabotage yourself and don't allow yourself to be psycho like me. I wouldn't say it's psycho. I know it's coming from a place of hurt. I know it's coming from a place of trauma and a place of fear, but you got this. I got this. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video because I think it's going to be really fun. I can't wait for you guys to meet her, and yeah, I will see you soon.